Hi guys, in this video we're going to explore the best foods for depression and the effects of diet on depression. How's it going, guys? Dr. Chris Silvey back with another episode of Mental Health Mondays. Mental Health Mondays is where we talk about stress, depression, and anxiety. So if that sounds like something that's interesting to you, be sure to subscribe and hit the little bell so you never miss another video again. Recent research has looked at depression as a condition, an inflammatory condition, or as in there is inflammation associated with depression in the brain. Now, on this channel previously, we've talked about the gut-brain connection and how large that is. And I've said on my online course and in our online support group several times before that I believe diet to be one of the biggest components into the overall whole being recovery in depression because of that gut-brain connection. What you eat largely affects how your mind is able to operate. Now, the other component, of course, is more about cognitive behavioral therapy and how we think about ourselves and several other components that we explore on my online course. But that's for another video. So instead of telling you what you shouldn't eat, let's focus on what you quote unquote should eat or should try to get more of it in your diet. We want to be eating foods that are going to nourish the body and brain, are going to provide several of the micro and macronutrients. We want to have things such as antioxidants and healthy fats. So things to start with are things like green leafy vegetables, because there's an incredible amount of phytonutrients in those, things that we can't necessarily measure but are known to be highly anti-inflammatory and to provide a great deal of benefit for the body. Also, berries is another one, or other types of fruits. Berries are very high in antioxidants and also help to fuel the brain. And you know, if you've watched some of my videos before, I'm a huge proponent of the green smoothies. I think that's a quick, easy way to get several servings of fruits and vegetables into your diet. And it doesn't have to taste bad either. If you haven't seen some of my other videos, I'll link those in the description below about how to make a great green smoothie, because it's really not hard and there are several recipes out there to do so. That's a great way to jumpstart your day and start to get more fruits and veggies in your diet. And also, as I had mentioned, healthy fats. So where can you get those? Avocados, for instance. Salmon, for instance. Also, sometimes farm fresh eggs, as long as they haven't been sitting somewhere for a long time. You won't get that with a lot of the store-bought eggs. And you'll know that because when you crack open an egg and you look at the yolk, and if it's yellow versus a bright orange or shade of orange, then a lot of the omega-3 content, which has been shown repeatedly in the research to be helpful for depression and mental health disorders, is oxidated and it is no longer available to your body. It's going to have zero benefit in terms of the omega-3s. So even if they put that on the egg carton, it doesn't necessarily mean you're getting that much omega-3s if it's this pale yellow color that you frequently see with eggs now. Also, another source of healthy fats are non-processed oils, particularly things like olive oil. If you're not frying in olive oil, it's an incredibly healthy fat that's going to help you as well. Remember that our brain is largely made of fats. The low-fat diet craze is not a good thing for the long term. Sure, short term, it can be a way to take off some weight, but as we're transitioning into some of these healthier diets and healthier lifestyles, we need to be incorporating healthy fats into our diet for our mental well-being. Grains are a bit of a controversy. Now, some people are very sensitive to grains, and it seems to be more of a problem than ever before. Some people are affected by them more than others. So you may have to experiment with this. You could do a slight bit of an elimination diet where you're taking grains out of your diet for a while and then reintroducing them after, say, a month or even just a couple weeks and see how you feel. I do find that in my case and other clients' case that I've worked with in health coaching, it takes at least a couple weeks of taking something out for your body to really feel the difference and note the difference. So try, if you're suspecting that grains are an issue for you, or you've had tests that confirm any type of grain intolerance or gluten intolerance, it may be worth exploring and seeing how you feel. On the other hand, I've also seen that with a little more effort, sprouting grains or even getting sprouted grain breads seem to have a little bit less of an effect on people, a negative effect. I would also say that with grains, in particularly breads and gluten, I'm not convinced that this gluten intolerance is solely caused by gluten itself. It does seem that there's an overlap between the pesticide contents that are often in our grains now, and which are becoming higher and higher over time as things are being sprayed more heavily and heavily, as they become more resistant to pesticides and herbicides. So things like Roundup may be an issue for certain people. Of course, this is just a theory. I have seen, though, when people switch to organic grains, they seem to do better. They seem to not have the same kind of problems as long as they eat gluten in low quantities. They're still able to put it as part of a healthy diet. Lastly, and I think this is always such a critical point, it's not always so much about what you eat, it's about how you eat it. So if you are eating once or twice a day 2 large meals, then you have some enormous insulin spikes, dips and troughs, and these valleys of your insulin level, so your sugar level changes a lot too. And that has a large effect on our mood. So one of the biggest symptoms of hypoglycemia, or very low sugar levels, is confusion and depression, especially confusion on the more extreme. But people can feel depressed and down and sluggish when their glucose levels are low. So what I am encouraging you here is to eat smaller and more frequently, at least 6 times a day. Become a grazer. Don't worry so much about eating eating large meals. Now, if this sounds like something that's completely unattainable to you, I have put this as part of our online course and our online support group. So if you'd like to learn more about how to implement some of these things and eat healthier for your depression, check out healthyconsumer.com and click courses, or look in the description of this video for a direct link to our course and our online support group, where we will reinforce these concepts and help you throughout your entire health journey. Thanks so much for listening, guys. I post every Monday for these types of videos. Be sure to check back next Monday evening. Have a great day, guys.